Welcome to Astrology in Action. I'm Ruth Pike, and I'll be your instructor to the mechanics of the stars. After that, the stars will be your teachers. Welcome to the wonderful world of astrology. Come in.
You are about to enter the hall of higher learning, where there is no turning back. There exists within our known reality a more subtle and secretive world. It is the world of thought and magnetic energies, invisible yet real. The key to this energy is provided by the ephemeris, the chart, and the astrological language. We have been oblivious to this energy until now. Learn the astrological language. There are 12 signs, there are 10 planets plus nodes. There are 5 major aspects. This constitutes the astrological language. Our goal is for the student to take advantage of an inward journey toward self-knowledge, moving outward toward a more certain knowledge of the nature of the world around them. The only proof you will have will be obtained from an investigation of your own. Only you know your own thoughts and feelings that verify the timing of the stars. These are the necessary tools for the study of astrology: clipboard, blank charts, pen and pencil, 2 different colored highlighters, plus 2 types of reference manuals called an ephemeris, plus this tape. Become familiar with the symbols or glyphs used in astrology. Write them often. People read their own handwriting easier. People tend to create a style of their own. Computer-generated ones are cute, but to get real meaning, one must create each part. Take notes directly on your charts. Repetition reinforces the memory. Double-check your work for errors. This is a lengthy taped lesson. Feel free at any time to turn it off and absorb what you have learned. The only way to truly learn astrology is through the self. Part of the learning process is to examine the quality of thought during planetary transits to understand how we are affected by the positive and negative invisible energies around us all of the time. You must see this on paper to believe it. The action of the stars and the signs can be taken figuratively or literally. They don't do thousands of things. They do specific things. That is their signature action. If you want to know what planet rules something, think, what does it do? We are all a mixture of many things, as you will soon see.
When I first began to study astrology, I thought it was probably nonsense. Come to find out, it wasn't nonsense at all. The sun is our life force. Where it goes, you go. Anything happens to it, and when I say happens to it, I mean badly aspected. It happens to you. You cannot separate yourself from what your sun is doing and what you are doing. The moon is a luminary also. They're known as the lights. The sun lights us in the day, the moon lights us in the night. Together, they're a balance. The moon controls our emotions. Wherever the moon goes, there is great emotion connected to that. It loves, it cries, it emotes. That is what the moon does. Mercury controls our thoughts. Wherever Mercury is, determines where a decision needs to be made. Mercury controls our thought processes and our thinking. If under affliction, we're not thinking very strongly, and we can make mistakes. Venus controls our love object. It shows what we are very attracted to in life. Venus is almost always a woman or a love object. She is kind. She is beautiful. You'll like her. Wherever she touches, we're attracted to the strangest things in life. And wherever Venus touches, this shows what we are very attracted to in life. Mars shows us where we spend a great deal of physical energy. What we do with our physical energy. This is shown by our position of our Mars. If Mars is not strong, you are not real physical. And if it is strong, you're muscular, it does things, it works. It's what it does. Mars is anger and it's energy. Whenever I'm mad, it's my Mars. And anger and energy are one in the same. You can take anger and transform it through Pluto into energy and get a goal accomplished. Jupiter. Jupiter is our luck, or lack of it. Jupiter turns evil, positively evil, under severe affliction, like serious illness or going to prison for something that you did not do. Things that can only be deemed as unlucky. See, Jupiter is lucky. Jupiter afflicted is unlucky. Whatever it touches will grow. Jupiter is known as the greater benefic, for it is very kind when well aspected. Saturn. Saturn is the planet that keeps us from getting what we want in life until the time is right. Then, when the time is right, shown by Saturn trine its own Saturn, the universe will deliver a benefit to you that you've worked for a very long time. Saturn does not get mad under affliction. It simply works harder. It's discipline, self-discipline, or discipline by others. Anything that restricts us, like a watch, is a Saturn. A watch, a belt, a brassiere, anything that restricts us is a Saturn thing. Restriction of air, heat, light, water, blood flow, whatever it takes. Whatever Saturn touches is cut back. Jupiter grows it, and Saturn cuts it back. That is its nature. Uranus. Uranus deals with electronic devices. It rules casual friends, because it's a ruler of Aquarius. It rules casual friends, but it is electrical and humanitarian in nature. It's the only sign and or planet that has the desire to buck the government, to be original, to be different than the others. That is coming directly from a Uranus aspect. If you're different, your Uranus is clicked in there, because it rules astrology, it rules all, bar none, electronic devices, it rules humanitarian instincts and revolutionary acts. That's what it does. It's futuristic in nature. It is the inventor. It is the genius. That's what Uranus is. It also rules radical changes of plans. You cannot expect what a Uranus will bring, because if you expect it, it's not unexpected. And you will be wrong, because Uranus can't be expected. It is new, different, and unusual. Definitely not what you expect. Neptune is our psychic planet. It rules dreams, drugs, alcohol, the sea. Anything that Neptune touches is distorted. The lines of clarity are smudged. It tends to see the rosy side. It can't face the pain. It's an escape artist. I call it the poor me planet. Because when I wake up and the moon's going over there, I wake up and I say, oh, I wish I could do that, but I can't. Poor me. Oh, I could do that, but I don't have any money. Poor me. When I'm saying and thinking, poor me, I check the stars because definitely Neptune or Pisces is involved. Because that is the poor me sign. And this is the literal thing you'll be saying to yourself. Poor me. Check your chart when you say that, and I swear it's there. Oh, Neptune. And then there's Pluto. Pluto rules birth, death, surgery, insurance, taxes. All secrets and mysteries of the universe are here. It even rules atomic physics. Everything unknown, other people's money. It has ruling over wills, generals. That's Pluto's nature. We have a thing called a north node and a south node. These are no masses here. They are merely points on the ecliptic. The north node shows and reveals to us where we can expect to receive goodness that was neither asked for nor deserved. Just incoming benefit to you. It's a happy thing. It's a good thing. Perceived as incoming good to you, whether you deserve it or not. That's what the north node does. Now the south node has the opposite effect. The north node is given in the ephemeris. The south node is not. The south node is always exactly opposite to the degree of the north node. That's how you know its position. The south node has a restrictive effect. At this point, you will either give or it will be taken from you because it's time to give. And this is shown by our position of the south node. We must give. We must give back. When we receive goodness, there are points on the chart where we must give goodness. This can be money. This can be talents. This can be many, many things. But it can be perceived as outgoing energy from you, whether or not it is deserved. This can result in a theft if you do not give when it's time. We must give. It's our job. The stars reveal when it's time. That's what the planets do in our life. So when you're listening to this, please make note that you will be encountering these types of things when the moon touches or triggers a planet. So listen up.
The magic of astrology. The language of astrology uses no words. Instead, it uses symbols or glyphs. A word takes up much space and is limited in meaning. By looking at a symbol in the horoscope chart, one is limited only by their knowledge of the chart houses, signs, and planetary nature. There is something primal or magical about writing the astrological symbols. They seem to open a whole new window and wealth of feelings and information. Each astrological sign exudes a unique natural energy. Astrology has been charted and observed for thousands of years. The heavens have been and are still being mapped and studied by astronomers, scientists, and astrologers. When a planet travels through an astrological sign, it lends its own energy to the energies of the house and sign in which it sits. It also lends its energy to any other planet that is in aspect to that degree. When transiting planets aspect people's natal planets, this shows their time to act or not act according to the aspect. Planets have a certain feeling or sort of personality which is felt in one's life as the moon passes over the sign or house the energy is located in. The chart speaks to each individual psychically and always reveals to him or her what he or she should know. Planetary energies have no feelings, just aspects. Assess the kind or evil nature of the signs or planets involved cautiously before assuming a good aspect equals a good outcome. Observing life as it unfolds from within the chart will prove there is order and timing in the universe. You may think you're only your sun sign when in fact each person uses each sign and planet every day. Become familiar with the energy that is in control of your entire life. You may not always study astrology, but after this video you will always think about it. Once convinced, one can proceed from the known to the unknown. This unknown is known by using the ephemeris, which lists natal, progressed, and transiting planets. Armed with this book, anyone can view and interpret his or her immediate and long-term future. Work toward future positive aspects of slower planets because they represent trends rather than single incidents. Faster planets bring a more immediate gratification and are more personal in nature. Seize beneficial opportunities when they are presented. People can be either harmed or helped by planetary energy. This energy teaches and strengthens by presenting life obstacles. Bad aspects in a chart build character, and great achievement is possible for those tested by the universe. People must see who they are. Work toward goals with greater confidence, knowing the universe has revealed this message at long last. The path of least resistance is the quickest way to succeed in life. Often distractions cause people to follow a fallen path. When the chart is used, the road is clearer. With astrology, surrounding energies are acknowledged, giving way to a more appropriate plan of action. There is no need to wander aimlessly through life. The universe is alive and eager to help people by sending them thoughts and signals of an astrological nature. All thought is magnetically attracted by planetary aspects. Everyone's thought is colored by the current aspects of the transiting sun and moon. Each chart is different. A person has lived his or her chart thousands of times. When reading the natal chart, people can identify good or bad feeling areas where they have encountered difficulties. A person's chart is like a broken record, repeating and repeating. When viewing the energies, it becomes possible to consciously manifest difficult stars differently for an alternate outcome. Awareness of these energies also enables people to act during good planetary aspects and receive heavenly benefits. Ephemeris, the astrological wheel. Every circle contains 360 degrees. In equal house astrology, each division is called a house and contains 30 degrees. Each degree equals 60 minutes of arc in time. Each minute equals 60 seconds of arc in time. There are two key lines in the chart, the midheaven and the ascendant. The presence of planets crossing at these lines signifies great activity. The ephemeris lists each planetary longitude position in degree, sign, minute, and second format. I use the degree and minutes plus the sign. I disregard the seconds. Some people don't even use the minutes. Become familiar with the astrological symbols of all the sun signs, planets, and aspects used in translating the language of the stars. The Earth's position is centered in the chart. At any given moment in time, a person's destiny is directly opposite of the sun's position in the chart. The ascendant represents the Earth's horizon. The sun rises and sets at these points in the day. Outside sign guide. We use outside sign guides. The ephemeris gives outside sign positions. Inside signs are understood. Outside signs are staggered to inside signs, so 15 degrees lie in each house, as shown in the diagram. It will not always be possible to get the planets at an exact degree. The position must be estimated. The Astrologer's Bible. These two books are a necessary tool for astrologers because they contain longitude positions for every planet of anyone you will ever know. The ephemeris for the 20th century, years 1900 to 2000, and the ephemeris for the 21st century, years 2001 to 2050. Reference books only are available at some libraries. These books are widely available at major chain bookstores in the New Age section. Ephemeris information is available online. I recommend owning your own books. The world uses longitude lines to gauge time around the globe. The moon revolves one time around the earth each day and touches each astrological sign. The 360 degrees of the zodiac wheel are pictured here. At the 0 degree point, 0 and 360 degrees are the same degree. Each sign has an esoteric meaning which will not be covered here. The moon moves forward 1 degree for every 2 hours of time, or 13 degrees per day. When constructing a natal chart, one must consider time factors. The 0 degree longitude point on Earth is located in Greenwich, England. Depending on birth locale, it takes time for dawn to reach an individual. Therefore, one should adjust the moon's position for greater accuracy. All other planets are plotted as listed in the ephemeris. We must account for the passage of time needed for the moon moving westward to reach the United States. If one does not know the time of birth but was born in the U.S., the moon can be no more than 13 degrees off in a single day. Experimenting may be necessary, but so much other information can be learned from a chart that it ceases to be important at times. The following information is only relevant to those born in the U.S. Use local time of birth when determining the ascendant. Refer to the following U.S. map for additional time to be added for those born in the United States. This is the United States time zone map. If you were born in the Eastern time zone, one must add 5 hours, or 2 degrees and 30 minutes to the moon's degree as given in the ephemeris. If you were born in the Central time zone, one must add 6 hours, or 3 degrees, to the moon's degree as given in the ephemeris. If you were born in Mountain Time, one must add 7 hours, or 3 degrees and 30 minutes to the moon's degree, as given in the ephemeris. If you were born in Pacific Time, one must add 8 hours, or 4 degrees, to the moon's degree as given in the ephemeris. Moving westward each 15 degrees adds 1 hour until 12 hours has been added. The ephemeris gives 2 moon choices. Personally, I use the midnight hour one. It was closest to my birth time. Use the one that suits your needs. Just remember to add 1 extra degree to the moon's degree for every 2 hours difference in birth time from that point. For each additional degree westward from a major longitude 15-degree divisional point, add 4 minutes of time to the moon's degree. The daily or transiting moon travels approximately 1 degree forward for every 2 hours passage of time on the wheel. It is the trigger to all the action in the chart. When the moon aspects any point, that energy comes into play by way of thought or a physical manifestation will occur to mimic the action of the current stars in aspect. The moon is a key element in the chart, and aspects show how we will feel about the matter. Astrological manipulation of time, finding the ascendant. The ascendant represents the beginning point of the chart. Birth time must be known to determine the correct ascendant. If the time of birth is unknown, simply place the solar sign at the ascendant position when the chart resumes normal counterclockwise direction to produce the natal chart. The ascendant of any moment in time can be determined by plotting the following chart with the correct sun sign at the ascendant position on the outer wheel, moving clockwise. Every day the moon begins in Aries and moves in 2-hour increments through the 12 signs of the zodiac. The inside signs represent the moon's daily movement. As the year progresses, the outside wheel moves through each sign in correct astrological order. Keep in mind that time moves clockwise. We move counterclockwise. To find the ascendant, we will start with a chart that's like this. Note the inside houses are in a clockwise direction from 1 to 12, going clockwise. This is the astrological time chart. We begin from dawn and we count around for 24 hours. Place the correct sun sign at the 9 o'clock position on this chart, counting around in correct astrological order. I will use to demonstrate this my sun sign, Sagittarius. Don't think about what comes before it. You go from your sign through the rest of the signs in never losing order. I count 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12. I was born at 12:20 a.m. So I will be at the Virgo position, and I will place my sun to reflect what spot reflects my time of birth. When the sun was in Sagittarius, this chart reflects my time of birth. Place your own sun sign at the 9 o'clock position, counting around in correct order until all the signs are filled to find your own ascendant. Always observe correct astrological order. Erecting the natal chart. Once the ascendant is determined, construct a new chart reversed in direction. People travel through life the opposite direction as time. Place the ascendant at the eastern horizon of the chart, moving counterclockwise. Insert remaining signs in correct astrological order around the chart. Next, plot the natal planets found in the ephemeris. Each 15 degrees of the sign equals 1 hour of moon time. Each degree equals 4 minutes of time. To determine the degree of the ascendant using 12:20 a.m., I would divide the 20 minutes by 4, which equals 5 degrees, plus I add a 2.5 degrees for an Ohio birth. I would estimate my ascendant degree at 8 degrees in the sign of Virgo when the sun was positioned in the sign of Sagittarius. By finding the ascendant sign using the time of birth, we are attempting to draw a line through a moment in time. Our sun would be placed on the chart that represents the time of day born. Those born during daylight hours would place their sun above the horizon, and those born at night would find their sun in the lower half of the chart. The sun rules the day and the moon rules the night in the astrological time wheel. When counting forward, always use the correct sun sign as the 6 to 8 a.m. beginning point. Even though the chart flips, the directions on the chart do not change. The sun rises in the east every day. We also begin our chart in the east. When the chart returns to its normal counterclockwise direction and we place our planets on, note your actual sun will be on the same spot as depicted in the time chart. Again, we have the time chart. Remember, place your sun at the outside position, following around a correct astrological order. This chart can be used to find the ascendant for any day if you keep the correct sun sign at the ascendant position when you start. Notice we have flipped the chart around with Virgo as the first sign on the outside of the wheel at the ascendant position. When we put my planets on, my sun will be in the exact same spot as it was when the chart was flipped around. Notice the inside signs, 1 through 12, are in a reverse direction. Time travels clockwise and the world travels counterclockwise on the wheel. The sun is the source of all living energy in our solar system. It shows what area of life will be highlighted by its position. The sun is the only cosmic body which is in the same place at the same time each year. The sun is a critical element in astrological timing. We can view the planets on different types of charts for additional information. Number 1, the ascendant chart, using the time of birth. Number 2, the solar chart, using the sun sign of the day. Number 3, the universal chart, using Aries on the ascendant. Aspects don't change when the beginning point does. The position of the sun determines the beginning point for any given day. This is true at the birth date when finding the ascendant. It is true for today's date when finding the ascendant for today's chart, using only the trancing stars. Each year is repeated in the astrological order of the chart. A stirring of life or rebirth occurs each spring from a hard winter freeze in frigid climates. The astrological year begins in Aries. Chart direction counterclockwise. Solar charts. If the birth time is unknown, one can use a solar chart to depict the natal stars. On March 21st to April 20th, the sun passes through Aries, or first sign on the astrological wheel, ruling the self or physical body. During passage through the sign of Aries, one feels the stirring to action on impulse. We must fight to live and to achieve. Action is the name of the game and details come later. One can experience a sense of renewal. Primal survival urges seem to take over. There is an urge to compete. Aries is a pioneer and a leader, sometimes by sheer force. From April 21st to May 20th, the sun moves through the sign of Taurus. The focus here is on the gathering of nutrients, resources, and material possessions. We feel the inner urge to touch, taste, and gather the sweet things in life, the things that we find beautiful in this world. It rules the money and material possessions in our own life. We must be able to fund the luxuries we seek. From May 21st to June 21st, the sun moves through the sign of Gemini. At this time, there is a need to gather and disseminate information, both written and oral. We must connect and communicate with our local surroundings and deal with lower education issues. This includes our family, siblings, neighbors, and friends in the local environment. Gemini rules the conscious mind. From June 22nd to July 22nd, the sun moves through the sign of Cancer. At this time, we become aware of our home, roots, and mother. Real estate issues are ruled by Cancer as in Mother Earth. This is a sign of emotion and nurturing to those we love as well as to our homeland. These issues will be highlighted by the passage of the sun through this sign. From July 23rd to August 22nd, the sun moves through its own ruling sign of Leo, where it is very strong with vital energy. Beaming with life, this sign rules children, childishness, theaters, entertainment, romance, gambling and amusements of all sorts. It rules movie stars and royalty, glamour, displays we put on as creative extensions of self, say to write a book or make a movie. From August 23rd to September 22nd, the sun moves through the sign of Virgo. During this phase, we worry about getting our work done and attending to all the details and chores done in service to others. It rules health and hygiene, doctors and patients. Virgo accomplishes errands with skill and intelligence. Virgo rules military service, small pets, as well as our appliances that serve us, even our vehicles. These issues prevail. From September 23rd to October 22nd, the Sun moves through the sign of Libra. At this time, we have urges to include others in our personal relationships. We seek to share our own cultural values and socialize. Partnerships, both marriage and business, form in this sign of harmony and agreement. As Libra is a sign of balance and justice, it rules lower court issues and traffic tickets. Look for these feelings in this kind sign. From October 23rd to November 21st, the Sun moves through the dark sign of Scorpio. During this period, the dead, instances of death, birth, medicine, surgery, taxes, and insurance enter our thoughts and dreams. This sign rules wills, other people's money, black magic, as well as the brutal and lusty side of sex, the lowest of moral character perversion. Secrets and mysteries are here and can be revealed in this sign. This sign rules atomic physics and research. From November 22nd to December 21st, the Sun moves through the expansive sign of Sagittarius. It is here we experience higher learning, long-distance travel, religious urges, college education, supreme courts, space travel, contact with strangers and foreigners from far away. Sagittarius is concerned with society's moral issues, with the welfare of others and the laws governing them. Sagittarius energies cause expansion of the mind. In this sign there is an inner feeling of excess or bounty. It wastes in opposition to Capricorn's nature to conserve. Both signs work through the group or society. From December 22nd to January 19th, the Sun moves through the restrictive sign of Capricorn. Thoughts turn serious in nature as pressures increase from the career, the government, the father, the mentor, the elderly. This motivates cutbacks to ensure a more secure position in the future. Its nature is to structure and build, concretize the plan from hard work and self-limitation for a greater long-term benefit. It rules father time, restrictions of government, and time-tested old-fashioned orthodox ideas. It represents the boss, head man. It rules the inner need to conserve and focus one's energies for fear of restriction. It seeks acceptance and recognition in society. From January 20th to February 18th, the Sun moves through the radical and humanitarian sign of Aquarius. Surprises, natural disasters, radical changes of plans occur during this time. Contact with electronic devices is likely. Aquarius rules casual friends met through volunteer work or giving back to the universe. Hopes and wishes are ruled here. Expect the surprise or unexpected outcome. Aquarius rules astrology, futuristic thinkers, revolutionaries, eccentrics, weirdos, all electrical and mechanical inventions. There is a tie to the mind of the universal genius in him or her whose energies reflect Aquarian stars. Original ideas are born here. From February 19th to March 20th, the Sun moves through Pisces, the final sign of the zodiac, for the year before a new astrological year begins. Before rebirth can occur, the past must be resolved. This comeuppance occurs in the sign of Pisces, for anything not taken care of in any of the other signs will be settled here. Pisces is a sign of guilt and sorrows, prisons, institutions, and places of confinement, either physical or of the mind. It is here we hide our pain. This pain comes out in the form of self-undoing, where we punish ourselves for our transgressions. It is a world of illusions, lies, psychics, treachery, dreams, drugs and alcohol, depression and suicide. It rules the secret enemy. Pisces rewards us for good deeds as well as punishes our wrongs. Its results can be too good to be true. Types of stars. Natal, progressed, and transiting. We will use the planetary longitude positions to create a horoscope chart. It will become a map of your life. Natal and progressed planets will be charted in ink so they are not erased. Replace your chart each year to remain current. Chart the transiting planets in pencil to be erased and redone as needed in studying the effects of the planets in your own life. Natal stars. In the ephemeris, locate your date of birth. Write it down. Natal stars describe your internal motivation and thought. When you were born, that moment was frozen in time and is depicted in the natal chart. You will always be sensitive to planets aspecting these natal positions. Natal stars are represented by the longitude position in the zodiac, degree, and minute of a sign for each planet for that day in the ephemeris. Progressed stars. In the ephemeris, count forward from your birth date 1 day for each year you are old. Do not count your birth date as number 1. Write it down. Progressed stars reflect changes in our life due to age and experience. Adjust progressed stars when checking different ages. Over the course of our life, the natal planets continue to travel the chart at the rate of 1 day per year. This enables added possibility to the individual with planets close to but not yet in aspect natally. Progressed stars can change signs and houses, routing our energy in a whole new direction. Transiting stars. In the ephemeris, check any day in your future or your past that you choose. Write it down. Transiting stars are the activating force for our life experiences. All thought stems from transiting planets in aspect to our natal stars. As the daily planets round the chart, their position describes their action in the world. Aspects to our own natal planets that are additionally triggered by the daily moon's travel signify that we will be motivated in certain areas of life at that time to act or not act. Take advantage of beneficial opportunities within the planetary aspects. The nature of the aspect, as well as the kind or evil nature of the signs and planets involved, will bring an event manifestation, either mentally or physically manifest as people, places, and things. Retrograde planets. When viewed from the Earth's perspective with the naked eye, some of the planets periodically appear to move in a backward direction. This is called a retrograde motion. The ephemeris signifies the backward motion by placing a little r either at the top of each month under the planet or next to the longitude position of the affected planet for the date it begins. The planets do not really move backwards. This is an optical illusion. However, it is charted as if it does. The sun and moon do not go retrograde. The planets observe retrograde periods. Planets behave differently when moving retrograde than in normal direct motion. The many delays and obstacles in life result from these planetary periods. Mercury. Never sign a contract when Mercury is moving backwards. Doing so could result in lost paperwork or legal issues. This is considered an affliction, and bad decisions are the result of acting under affliction. Venus. A retrograde Venus indicates that we must reassess what is attracting us. Mars. A retrograde Mars indicates that a project that has already been accomplished must be redone. Progress is slow during this low energy period. The outer planets all observe retrograde times, which slow progress in the areas of life they rule. When the planets turn into a forward or direct motion, the ephemeris signifies this by placing a little d next to the longitude position of the affected planet. Look for a marked change on that day, for the planetary energy will resume its normal function again in that area of life that it is located in. Direct moving planets are not normally signified because they are naturally moving counterclockwise on the wheel. It is only when they go retrograde that the change is noted. The Sun, Moon, and planets travel normally in a counterclockwise direction around the chart. The following chart illustrates a normal motion, a retrograde motion, and return to normal motion for any planet. Use the ephemeris to show where to plot the planets on the chart. The retrograde periods are included. A retrograde planet can cause delays until the energy returns to normal functioning forward or direct motion. When studying the energies associated with the planets and their effect on human lives and psyche, note the planets have their peak times as well as their own natural afflictions. Planetary energy becomes stronger and weaker depending on its position or direction. These arrows indicate a normal, direct motion. The planetary direction reverses when the planets move retrograde as simulated, and the normal energy does not perform well. And back to forward or direct motion when the retrograde period is ended. At this time, progress can resume in the areas of life ruled by the planet.